Out and About TV. Travel, adventure, and RVs. Join Sharon and Tom each week as they travel America in a 30-foot trailer exploring and living the RV lifestyle. From Tripin product reviews to RV show reports and an unfiltered look at life on the road. This is the show for you. Welcome.
Well, welcome to another edition of Out and About TV. I'm your host, Tom McAuliffe. Sharon McAuliffe is out on assignment. And we got a lot of great stuff happening for you, both in the library and past episodes, as well as upcoming episodes. Coming up, we're going to talk about the truth about the internet and how to use the internet. What's the best way to use the internet when you're out and about? We're going to do a trip report about the Florida Keys, one of my favorite places on the planet, the Conch Republic. We're going to talk about that. And then we've got a great, interesting channel on the RV YouTube channel roundup called Less Junk, More Journey. Tommy likes that. Coming up, we've got the best America scenic highways, the best scenic drives in America. We're going to do a roundup of that. We're going to talk about the Black Hills of North Dakota, South Dakota. We're going to do a wonderful article that I've been working on for about a month about RV budgeting and how critical that is. Also coming up, we're going to burst some myths on RV myths that refuse to die. And naturally, as always, we'd love to hear from you and hear what you think. Just send us an email. You can always look and see the list of episodes in the show notes and in the channel notes. What else is? We've become an Amazon affiliate, and we have our product lists on our Facebook page and in the description of different products that we've used over the years and swear by. So, and know that when you help a channel out by using the affiliate link, that money comes from Amazon. It doesn't come from you, doesn't raise the price. It just helps us out as a young and growing channel. And we surely do appreciate it. Once again, please like and subscribe. Thanks a lot for coming by. We got a lot of information to get to, so buckle up and away we go.
At Out and About TV, we've done the legwork for you, watching, analyzing, and curating the top RV YouTube channels that cover everything from trailers and fifth wheels to vans and mobile homes. Whether you're a full-time RVer, a weekend warrior, or just a RV curious wannabe, we will help you find the very best channels and provide some unique content of our own. These RV YouTubers have turned their passion into full-time careers, influencing the RV community and even shaping industry trends. Channels that entertain, educate, and inspire with hosts that have the heart of a teacher. Stop by and we will examine what these channels are covering. And it is more than just entertainment. Just consider Out and About your personal digital campfire. For all things RV.
This week in our YouTube RV channel spotlight, we're taking a look at the popular channel, Less Junk, More Journey. Now, as we've seen, there are a lot of RV channels on YouTube these days. Some focus on gear, some focus on luxury campers and motor coaches, some focus on rig repairs, and some are pure travel channels about life on the road. But what makes YAF less junk, more journey stand out is something a little different. It's realness. This is a channel that really leans into the lifestyle side of RV travel and adventure. Instead of trying to feel overly polished or corporate, their videos feel down, home genuine, and very relatable, almost like you're traveling alongside them instead of simply watching a stream or production. And honestly, that connection matters, especially in today's YouTube world where audiences can usually tell within about 30 seconds whether somebody is being real or simply trying to play influencer. We hate those folks. One of the reasons Less Junk, More Journey connects so strongly with RV audiences is the authenticity of its hosts, Mark and Trish Piper. Before becoming full-time RV travelers and content creators, they lived a more traditional suburban life, working regular careers while raising their family. Eventually, they made the decision to simplify their lifestyle, spend more time together, and pursue life on the road full-time. That leap of faith became the foundation for their channel and brand, which has since grown into one of the most respected voices in the RV and travel community. What makes this couple especially relatable is that they don't present RV life as some perfectly polished fantasy. They openly talk about the challenges, breakdowns, budget realities, family dynamics, and emotional ups and downs that come with long-term travel. Their chemistry on camera feels natural and genuine, and viewers appreciate that they balance practical RV advice with heartfelt storytelling and real-life experiences. Combined with strong cinematography, thoughtful editing, and a family-focused approach, they've built a loyal audience that sees them less as influencers and more as trusted friends, sharing the journey alongside them. And one of the main strengths of this channel is its storytelling. They don't just show campsites and drone footage, they build full narratives around their experiences, the challenges of travel, family life on the road, unexpected problems, emotional moments, discoveries, and the reality of RV living. That's important because great RV content is rarely just about the RV itself. It's about the feeling of freedom and adventure that comes with the lifestyle. Another thing they do very well is video editing. Their videos are clean, well-paced, visually attractive, and professionally assembled without feeling overproduced. And that balance is harder to achieve than people think. Just ask Tom. Too little editing and a video drags. Too much editing and it starts to feel artificial. This channel hits a nice middle ground where the production supports the storytelling instead of overwhelming it. The family angle also gives the channel a broader emotional connection. A lot of viewers aren't just watching for campground reviews or product information, they're imagining a different lifestyle for themselves and their families with travel. Flexibility, more experiences, and less life clutter, and for sure, less life stress. And honestly, even the name of the channel taps directly into that idea. Less junk, more journey. That's a philosophy a lot of RVers can relate to. Another thing worth mentioning is consistency. Successful YouTube channels almost always have a recognizable tone and identity, and this channel has developed both. Viewers here know what kind of experience they're going to get when they click on a video. Positive energy travel inspiration, practical road-tested insight, and real-world camping experiences, and that consistency builds audience trust over time. If you're new to the world of camping and recreational vehicles, YouTube, and looking for channels that balance storytelling, travel, family life production quality, and relatable RV experiences, then this show, Less Junk, More Journey, is definitely worth checking out. You will find that one of the best things about channels like this is that they remind people that RV travel doesn't have to be perfect to be truly rewarding. Sometimes the breakdowns become the memories. Sometimes the detours become the adventure. And sometimes the journey itself becomes more important than the destination. That is what this channel captures very well. So this week's RV YouTube channel spotlight goes to Less Junk, More Journey. I'm Hope for Out and About TV. I look forward to seeing you next time.
Hey, every week, tune in. We're going to keep cataloging the best in RV channels on YouTube and tell you what they're all about and save you a little bit of time there. Thanks a lot for tuning in. This time around on Out and About TV, the truth about RV internet service and the worldwide wait. Let's take a look at sat phones, Starlink versus cellular versus campground Wi-Fi. Campground Wi-Fi is a little bit like CompuServe back in the 70s. Remember dial-up modem? Shoot. Remember that? Yeah. Picture this. You've just arrived at a beautiful campground somewhere deep in the mountains. Campfire's going, coffee's hot, lake is calm, and life is good. Then you try to check your email. The campground Wi-Fi barely loads a weather page. Your phone has one lonely bar of signal. Netflix buffers endlessly. Your Zoom calls freeze. And somehow, your neighbor 3 campsites down is streaming movies like he's sitting in downtown Dallas. So what's his secret? Today, we're talking about the truth about campground Wi-Fi, cellular internet, Starlink satellite systems, boosters, hotspots, and what really works when you're traveling America by RV. Because in today's world, internet on the road isn't just entertainment anymore. For many RVers, it's work, banking, navigation, weather, emergency communications, and staying connected with family and friends. And the truth is, there's no perfect solution yet. There's close, but not yet. Let's start with campground Wi-Fi. Start at the bottom. It's always good for a laugh. Now, in fairness, some campgrounds do offer decent internet service. That's true. Usually newer luxury RV resorts with fiber connections and professionally managed systems. Most don't, and many campgrounds still struggle badly with Wi-Fi systems that are at the 70s level, let's say, and dial-up. Why? Because RV parks were never originally designed to support hundreds of people simultaneously streaming video, taking Zoom calls, uploading YouTube videos, gaming online, and syncing cloud backups. That's a lot of data to shove through the pipe. Think about it. A campground built in 1985 may have originally installed service simply so Jess could check email. Fine, beautiful. Fast forward to today, and every rig may have smart TVs, tablets, security cameras, laptops, streaming devices, phones, gaming systems, all fighting for bandwidth. And here's another issue: distance. You may be parked hundreds of feet away from the campground router. Trees, metal RV walls, weather, terrain, all weaken the signal. And that's why campground Wi-Fi is often best viewed as a bonus, as an emergency, not as a primary internet solution. Now let's move to cellular internet. Yeah? What is it, G5? Something like that. For many RVers, this is still the sweet spot. Modern cellular networks are remarkably fast, and in some areas, 5G speeds can rival home broadband internet. And many campers use dedicated hotspots, phone tethering, mobile routers, signal boosters like WeBoost. And honestly, if you stay near cities, interstate corridors, or populated areas, cellular internet may be all you need. The big players are, of course, Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile. And experienced RVers often carry more than one carrier. Why? Because no single company has coverage everywhere. You may have fantastic Verizon service in Arizona and terrible service in rural Maine, or great T-Mobile speeds in Florida and almost nothing in the mountains of Montana. It all really depends on where their stick is. Where is their cellular tower? Coverage maps look impressive in commercials, but reality on the road is very, very different. Now, one important point: confuse signal strength with internet speed. Apples and oranges. Just because you have 5 bars doesn't necessarily mean you have fast internet. If a tower is overloaded with traffic, especially in tourist areas or crowded campgrounds, speeds can slow dramatically. And this is where boosters come in. Cellular boosters help boost the cellular signal that you have in fringe areas, but they do have limitations. Number one is you've got to have a signal to boost to begin with. If you've got no cell tower, no cell signal, there's nothing to boost. So they do have limitations. As I say, a booster cannot create a signal where none exists. It can only improve a weak signal already present. A booster usually helps one device at a time unless connected to a more advanced router system. And let me be clear, I've had a WeBoost system for a number of years. They help out a little bit, maybe give you 1 bar, but it ain't going to go from no bars to 4 bars. That ain't going to happen. Now let's talk about the giant game changer in RV internet access: Starlink. Yeah, I just got my Starlink Mini in a couple episodes back. Check it out. There's an unboxing and show you how we set it up. Starlink has absolutely transformed RV travel and internet access on the road. For years, satellite internet was slow, expensive, and unreliable. Traditional satellite systems suffered from high latency, meaning huge delays between sending and receiving data. Video calls were painful at best. Gaming was nearly impossible, and streaming was stuttered, looked like max headroom all the time. But Starlink changed the equation. Instead of relying on a few giant satellites parked far above Earth, Starlink uses thousands of low Earth orbit satellites constantly moving overhead and overlapping to give you a better satellite access signal. The results are much faster satellite speeds, much faster internet access, and dramatically lowered latency. For many campers and RVers, Starlink has been life-changing. People are now working remotely from deserts, forests, mountains, beaches, remote boondocking sites, national forests, even Alaska, places where traditional cellular service doesn't exist at all. But Starlink isn't perfect either. First, it needs a relatively clear sky to be able to operate. Heavy tree cover can absolutely destroy Starlink performance. And that's important because many beautiful campgrounds are heavily wooded. Second, Starlink equipment and services are not cheap. The hardware can cost a couple $100. Monthly service plans, about $50. It adds up. It adds up. But third, power consumption. That matters. If you're boondocking off-grid and using batteries and solar, Starlink can draw a surprising amount of power over long periods. And finally, weather can still affect performance of a Starlink system. Heavy rain, storms may interrupt service temporarily, entirely. So, what is the best RV internet solution? Honestly, most experienced campers and RVers eventually wind up with a hybrid approach. It's something like this. You got cellular as your primary, campground Wi-Fi if and when available, Starlink for remote areas, and boosters as a backup. That layered approach gives you flexibility. Also, the idea that some RVers and campers use of having multiple cellular services, AT&T, Verizon, yeah. Because RV travel is unpredictable. You never know where you're going to be. Like this beautiful site that we're here, right here on the river, got really horrible internet service. But with my Starlink Mini, I'm all set. The layered approach gives you flexibility because RV travel and internet access in remote areas is unpredictable at best. One week you're parked beside a beach in Florida. The next week you're deep in the Rockies with no cell signal at all. And here's the important truth. Internet needs vary widely. It's one thing when you just want to retrieve an email from Aunt Betty about, the dog had puppies. That's one thing. It's another thing that you want to stream a 4K high-def movie. And here's another important truth. Internet needs vary widely. If you simply want to check an email or a weather forecast, almost anything will work. But if you work remotely, want to upload YouTube videos, want to watch movies on TV, want to attend online movies with Zoom, homeschooling your kids, want to trade stocks, then your needs are completely different. And there's one final point that I want to make that I think most RVers overlook. The more remote and beautiful the campsite, the harder internet often becomes. That's part of the trade-off. Sometimes the best campgrounds in America have terrible connectivity. And maybe that's not a bad thing. Sometimes it's best to just unplug, right? RV travel is also about disconnecting a little bit watching sunsets instead of screens, talking around campfires instead of scrolling endlessly through social media. Still, in today's modern world, having reliable internet on the road matters. And thankfully, RVers now have multiple options that they can choose from campground Wi-Fi to cellular hotspots to boosters to full satellite systems orbiting above the Earth. The connected RV lifestyle has truly arrived. And honestly, we're probably only at the beginning. I'm Tom McAuliffe for Out and About TV. From the sea, from the air, from the land, the latest in news and perspective. Welcome to the new Out and About TV opinion and RV politics segment. I'm Tom McAuliffe. As I announced 2 episodes ago, we have done away with the news segment of our show. I feel there are 2 very excellent sites that cover the RV industry better than I ever could. Mike Windland of the RV Community Podcast, a retired journalist with 18 Emmy Awards, and Miles of the RV Miles Show, which we highlighted in episode 8. And we'll have links to both of those shows in the show notes. If you're interested in real-time news, actionable news about the RV industry numbers, sales numbers, all that kind of stuff, those are your 2 great sources, along with the monthly report from Uncle Josh at Bish's. He lays out all kinds of great information about the RV industry. With those 3 news sources, you've got the camping and RV industries covered. We commend them for their outstanding coverage and hope it continues. Where I feel my background in government and media might best serve the RV community is as a commentator and as a catalyst for discussion. For example, my recent editorial about the need for drivers training for these massive coaches and travel trailers. Shouldn't you have to have some basic training before you take a 40-ton vehicle down the road at 55 miles an hour? Yes, you should, is the answer. I'm happy to report that that is being considered for hearings in the House this fall. Additionally, I and many others raised the alarm about the idea of 2 of the major OEM manufacturers for RV materials. They make everything. And we raised the alarm bell and put a stop to that right quick, which I'm very happy about. So happily, those merger talks have ceased. To date, the show has been a no politics zone. I'm about as fed up with both of them. I like to take them out in the middle of the desert and knock their heads together. So it's obvious that something is wrong. It's got nothing to do with Democrat or Republican. It's the same thief with a different set of clothes. And I think the American people are about fed up and ready for something different. So to date, we have been a no politics zone, and that's pretty much how I roll, except when it comes to issues before our elected representatives in regards to the national park system and recreational access to our public lands. And quite frankly, I can't understand why leaders like Miles, like Michael, don't put up a better argument about the need to protect our national park system and public lands. And I call on them to do that because I, like many, don't give a damn whether they're Republican or Democrat or the man in the moon. What we do care about is protecting and doing all the backlogs. I had somebody online on the air say, well, it doesn't really matter. I was at the national park recently and nothing seemed affected or anything. Well, I had a ranger just tell me, now this was at a Florida state park, tell me that they've been told by the Florida state government to cut their budget by 30% by the end of the year. And their real goal is privatization. They want to privatize the national park system. They want to privatize the Florida state park system. That's the reality. Ask them. They'll tell you. They laid it all out in several position papers. So I don't care whether they're the man in the moon. When it comes to the national park system and our public lands, there can be no compromise. Of course, that's just me. I look forward to this being a conversation and exchanging opinions and ideas with you about the vital issues that affect every single camper and RV owner. Keep the conversation going at our Facebook page. Thanks for listening. I'm Tom McAuliffe for Out and About TV. And don't forget to vote. The Florida Keys, from Key Largo to Key West. In this week's trip report, one of my favorite places on the planet, the Florida Keys by RV, from Key Largo to Key West. There are road trips, and then there's the Florida Keys, a ribbon of islands stretching out into turquoise water, connected by bridges that seem to float between the Atlantic Ocean and the Gulf of Mexico. For RV travelers, the drive from Key Largo to Key West is one of the most beautiful and unforgettable journeys in all of America. But it's also one of the most unique and challenging. The Florida Keys aren't just a destination, they're an experience. They call it the Conch Republic, after the conch shell. Some crazies often talked about breaking off from the United States and becoming its own independent nation. They even have Conch Republic coins, which is kind of interesting. It's an experience, that's for sure. And the adventure begins the moment you leave mainland Florida behind and cross into Key Largo, often called the diving capital of the world. It's one of our favorite places. You can go to John Pennekamp Underwater Park. There's also the underwater habitat that we talked about a couple of episodes ago. It's an experience. And as you leave Key Largo, the diving capital of the world, things start to change. Palm trees sway in a warm tropical breeze. Tiki bars appear everywhere beside the highway. Fishing boats line the marinas, and suddenly nobody seems to be in such a hurry anymore. And that's a good thing. Now, one important thing to understand about the Keys, this is not a fast trip. This isn't an in and out. You're going to need to take your time. US 1, the overseas highway, is essentially one road in and one road out. Traffic can slow dramatically, especially during weekends and holidays. So the secret to enjoying the Keys isn't speed, it's slowing down, taking your time, enjoying the drive, taking in all the scenery. And the drive, by the way, as I said, is spectacular. Again and again, the highway crosses these long bridges over long, open aqua water, giving RV travelers incredible views in every direction. It's like you're taking your rig to sea. At times, it almost feels like you're driving across the ocean surface itself. One of the most famous stretches is the Scenic 7-mile bridge near Marathon, Florida. Originally built alongside Henry Flagler's legendary overseas railroad, the modern bridge offers sweeping panoramic views that are absolutely breathtaking at sunrise or sunset. Flagler was an old governor, and he built a railroad bridge all the way down there back in the early 1900s, I think it was. And yes, driving a large RV across the bridge can feel both thrilling and a little bit surreal. I'd be less than honest if I didn't tell you that my hands were gripping the steel wheel a little bit tighter. Now let's talk camping. The Keys are beautiful, but they're not cheap and they're crowded. You can adventure down to Key West and enjoy everything the Keys have to offer, but you got to plan, and you got to plan way in advance, and you got to be willing to accept crowdedness as part of the deal. Premium waterfront locations can easily run several $100s a night during peak season. And reservations, you'll often need them months in advance, sometimes a year in advance for the most popular parks. Some of the better-known RV destinations down there include the John Pennekamp Coral Reef State Park in Key Largo. They have camping. Baja Honda State Park near Marathon, supposed to be one of the best parks ever. Fury Hammock State Park, they have camping. Blue Water Key RV Resort, and one of the ones that it's known around the world, Boyd's Campground near Key West. And each one of these offer a completely different experience. Some are rustic and natural and like state park level. Others are full-blown RV resorts. Now, if you love the outdoors, the Keys are a paradise. This region offers a plethora of recreational opportunities. snorkeling, scuba diving, fishing, kayaking, paddleboarding, sunset cruises, wildlife viewing, and then there's the water. You've never seen such beautiful water in your entire life. Aqua blue, as far as the eye can see. It's like an elixir. You dip yourself in the waters, the shades of turquoise, emerald, and deep blue, changing constantly depending on the sunlight or the weather. At John Pennekamp Coral Reef State Park, one of the only underwater state parks in the system, visitors can explore America's first underwater park. Glass-bottom boats and snorkeling tours reveal coral reefs, tropical fish, and marine life just offshore. Further south near Marathon, the famous Turtle Hospital rescues and rehabilitates sea turtles, and you can take a tour there and make a donation while you're there. They do great work. Throughout the Keys, you'll find incredible seafood restaurants, roadside fish shacks, 4-star restaurants, Cuban cafes, and waterfront bars where live music drifts through the salty evening air. Then eventually you arrive at Key West. And Key West is unlike anywhere else in America. Part Caribbean, part old Florida, and part eccentric island town. It's colorful, it's quirky, artistic, historic, and completely laid back. You can visit Ernest Hemingway's house, Mallory Square, the great party street, Duval Street, and the southernmost point marker in America, the southernmost tip of America. Everybody goes and gets their picture taken right next to it. Historic forts and sunset celebrations. I'm serious. When it's the sunset down, everybody goes down there to the southern point marker and hangs out. It's like an event every night. And the sunsets are truly, truly spectacular. After spending a few days in Key West, many travelers discover something surprising. It's not surprising. They don't want to leave. But RV travelers should also know that there are a few realities about traveling in the Keys. First, as we've mentioned, space is super tight. If you've got an extra large rig, you need to be real careful and check out things in advance. Some campgrounds have strict RV size limitations. That's not them being negative. That's just the fact that a big rig won't make it in through here. Narrow roads and tight campsites can be challenging for larger rigs. And second here, the weather matters. When there's a hurricane coming, everybody is trying to get out on US 1, and that can be dangerous. Weather here matters. Hurricane season runs from June through November, and the conditions can change like that. I was down there in Hurricane Frederick, 1978, I think it is. We were inside for 3 days, couldn't go outside. Hurricane season runs from June through November, and conditions can change rapidly. Now let's talk about summer. Heat and humidity during the summer months can be super intense. And third, fuel, groceries, restaurants, camping, everything is more expensive in the Keys. But despite all that, people keep coming back year after year because there's something magical about the Florida Keys. Maybe it's the water, maybe it's the people, maybe it's the sunsets. Maybe it's the feeling that the mainland world is far, far away and disappeared in the background behind you, mile by mile. Or maybe it's simply this. The Keys remind us what RV travel is really about. Freedom, adventure, fun, and discovering places that feel completely different from your everyday life. From Key Largo to Key West, the Florida Keys delivers one of the great RV road trips in America. And once you've made that drive, you'll never forget it. I'm Tom McAuliffe for Out and About TV. Hey, it's time for another Out and About product roundup, an FAQ. And this week we're going to talk about the top 5 portable power stations. One of the biggest changes in RVing over the past few years has been the rise of these portable solar power generators. These little power stations, for the sake of our discussion, we're going to differentiate between a solar-based power station versus solutions like a power brick that you basically plug into the wall, charge up, and then you can take that brick out and about. Both power bricks and solar-based portable power stations have changed the game for today's camper and RV owner. What used to require a loud, heavy gasoline generator can now often be handled by a quiet little battery box sitting beside your campsite chair. That's why portable solar power stations have become so incredibly popular with RVers, campers, overlanders, van lifers, tailgaters, emergency preppers, and even homeowners dealing with storms and power outages. And honestly, once you own one, you start finding uses for it everywhere. We have a Jackery on order. We have an older one that we've basically worn out. And different things that you never, like for example, I've got to trim the hedges sometimes. Sometimes I can't get the extension cord from the house out to where the hedge is. I take my little solar thing, plug in the hedge trimmer, I can go anywhere. You can use them for charging phones and laptops, running lights and fans, powering CPAP machines, operating TVs and routers, recharging camera batteries. They even run small coffee makers, microwaves, or portable refrigerators, depending on the unit. And unlike traditional gas and LP generators, most portable solar power stations are silent, emissions-free, safe for indoor use, and require almost zero maintenance. Now, before we jump into the top units, let's quickly explain what these products actually are. A portable power station is basically a giant rechargeable battery combined with AC outlets, USB ports, DC output, charging electronics, and offers solar charging capability, but not always. Think of it as a super-sized battery that you can charge up with the sun. Now, the two big things that shoppers should look for are battery capacity and power output. Battery capacity is determined by how long the unit will run your equipment. Power output determines what appliances can actually be run from it. For example, running a phone charger is easy, but running a microwave or an air conditioner, that requires a little bit more power. And one important thing, many newer units now use LiFePO batteries, lithium iron phosphate batteries. These lithium batteries generally last longer, run cooler, charge faster, and are considered safer than the older lithium-ion designs of a few years ago. So with that out of the way, let's take a look at the top 5 portable power stations for RVers and campers. First up, the Jackery Explorer 1000 V2. We covered this in episode 13. I'm expecting my new unit any day now. I can't wait. Jackery really helped popularize this entire category, and the Explorer 1000 remains one of the most recognizable units on the market. It's compact, it's user-friendly, it's relatively lightweight, and ideal for weekend camping and moderate RV use, and I look forward to pounding the hell out of it. And I'll let you know exactly what I find. It's great for coffee makers, laptops, TVs, lights, CPAP machines. And Jackery's solar panel ecosystem is extremely simple to use. This is often the gateway portable solar power station for many RVers. It's their first one as they start down that road. Next, let's take a look at the EcoFlow Delta 2. EcoFlow has become a major player because of incredibly fast charging speeds. Some EcoFlow units can recharge from a wall outlet in roughly an hour or two. It's truly remarkable. The Delta 2 offers expandable battery options, so you can add more battery capability, strong app control, high power output, and excellent versatility. EcoFlow is especially popular with heavy tech RVers and people working remotely on the road. The third on our list is the Bluetti AC180. You've heard of these guys. Bluetti has built a strong reputation for large capacity units and solar-focused systems. The AC180 hits a sweet spot between portability, serious capability, and cost. It offers solid battery capability, dependable inverter performance, good solar charging options, and long-lasting lithium batteries. Many boondockers and off-grid campers really like the Bluetti products because they integrate so well into their solar setups. Next up, let's talk about the Anker Solex C1000. Now, a lot of people know Anker from phone chargers and electronic accessories. They're in a whole bunch of different areas. But their newer power stations have been surprisingly impressive, but little known. The Solex line combines fast charging, a modern design, quiet operation, and an excellent app integration. Anker has also done a nice job keeping their systems relatively compact and travel-friendly. The links to these products will be in the show notes, along with prices and such. And finally, there's the Goal Zero Yeti 1000X. Goal Zero was one of the early pioneers in portable solar power systems and remains extremely popular with outdoor enthusiasts. Their systems are rugged, dependable, and widely supported with accessories. Now let's talk about the negatives, because nothing's perfect. Everything has a few shortcomings. Portable power stations are fantastic, but they're not magic. Air conditioners, electric heaters, large appliances can drain even expensive units surprisingly fast. Sometimes it won't work at all. And once you move into a very large battery/solar system, prices can climb into the thousands of dollars. I just talked to a user who was putting $15,000 into his rig. And another consideration is weight. Even though lithium batteries are lighter, there is some weight involved. Some larger units can weigh 50 to 100 pounds or more. So where you place that in your rig to balance out the weight distribution is important. And finally, you need to think about how you're going to recharge them. You're going to use shore power, solar panels, vehicle charging, a generator. That recharge strategy matters. For example, my F-150 hybrid, I've got a 30 amp outlet right on the tailgate and 120 outlets, so I can charge right from my truck. Now, if you're shopping for a portable power station, here's my advice. Don't buy the biggest unit. Buy the unit that's realistically matches your camping style. You're a weekend camper? You probably don't need a monster unit. Working remotely and boondocking for a few weeks? That's a completely different situation. And remember, technology in this category is improving incredibly fast, and the prices are dropping like a rock. A unit that I was just shopping for that was going for like $489 back during the holidays is now, I saw on special at $279. Yeah. And also remember that technology in this category is improving incredibly fast. Batteries are getting lighter, safer, faster charging, and more affordable every single year. Portable power stations are becoming one of the most useful pieces of gear an RVer can have. Quiet power, clean power, and freedom to camp almost anywhere. I'm Tom for Out and About TV. Hey, thanks again for coming by. We really appreciate it. Sharon and I appreciate all your help and support. We'd love to hear from you. Send us a picture of your rig or send us an email just to say hello or tell us what you like and don't like about the show. Here's our email address right there. Also, please go and check out our Facebook page. We've got a growing community over there, people asking questions and helping each other and sharing their experiences over there on Facebook, the Out and About TV Facebook site. So go check that out. And also don't forget about our t-shirts and our new hats. Send us a picture of your rig and win a free t-shirt. Out and About Adventure Before Dementia t-shirt or ball cap. Send us a picture of your rig at that email address, and who knows, maybe you will win. It's a wonderful time to be an RVer and a camper. Summertime is here. Camping season is here. The leaves are coming back on the trees and the weather is moderating. Get out there and see your old pal Mother Nature, and we'll see you out and about.
Stop.